What's up, guys? Welcome back to Roots Refuge Farm. Oh, it's a little chillier out here than I anticipated. South Carolina just throws me for a loop. I never know what to expect when I walk out the door. I just looked out my window. The sun is setting. It's beautiful. And I was going to go on a little side-by-side ride around the farm. And I just thought I'd bring you guys with me and just, hang out for a minute. I actually spent most of this afternoon shooting content about seed starting and some different upcoming gardening topics. You guys won't see that just yet. That'll roll out over the course of the next couple weeks. Some of that content is a lot longer format, just takes a lot longer to edit. But you may have noticed, some of you have commented, thanks for noticing, I have been posting a lot more content. I've been feeling a lot better. And these quick little vlogs are easy to shoot and quickly post. I like to kind of share the thought process in some content creation because, I share a lot of things with you guys that I do and why. Every year on the off season, so this is the off season for me, for my content. So this is just kind of fascinating. I think it's probably fascinating to some of you. It's fascinating to me. My views are about a fifth during like November, December, early January. A fifth of what they are in like the peak gardening season, like the overall views of my whole channel, which is wild. Like that's a pretty significant difference. Interestingly, individual videos, like my vlogs, they do about the same, like all throughout the year. But of course I'm doing like garden tours and stuff like that. Now, right after Christmas, the views start to grow. So this is just kind of fascinating to me. And I think some of you might think it is. But in the 28-day period, like that's what YouTube shows you, like your analytics by the last 28 days. And in this last 28 days, which of course accounts for the period after Christmas, versus the 28 days prior to that, I've gotten over 300,000 more views in this period than the period before that. Because in the dead of winter and Christmas time and all that stuff, people just aren't watching as much gardening content. Of course, we still have like the faithful viewers that watch our vlog. And as a creator, if you know that you're gonna have lower views anyway, you just do what you want, right? A lot of people just quit posting. I like sharing our off-season life also. I'm curious to see how our trees do. I've been watching them closely. They still look alive after the deep freezes. Some of them were damaged by the ducks before the fences were up around them, or the geese were probably actually the culprits that damaged the trees. But we get these warm days and I get nervous that all my fruit trees are going to come out of dormancy. So far, so good. I seriously cannot wait. I can wait and I will wait. But I anticipate greatly the day that I come in here and just pick fruit off the tree and eat it. So one thing is interesting. Whenever you start, like if you want to become a content creator, you'll have a lot of people tell you, stay on niche, like find your thing and stick to it. And when I actually started, I would never have guessed that gardening would be my thing, which is so funny. But I was very passionate, very zealous about gardening, obviously. If you've been here long enough and you've seen me geek out over a tomato or whatever, seeds, whatever. I was still learning so much. Now, at the time, I knew a lot about chickens. I knew a lot about goats. There were things that I actually felt way more confident in the ability to share. I just would not have assumed that gardening would have been the thing, but it was the thing. And then people were like, oh, you're a garden channel. But I didn't really want to be a garden channel because the fact that garden channels are really relevant only part of the year and then irrelevant on the off part. And so I was very diligent to like keep making other types of content, keep making vlogs, keep sharing all that stuff. And obviously the garden is like the heaviest influence of our channel. But I love the off season. Now I miss the garden like crazy. I'm so excited to be making gardening content because that means that I'm that much closer to being in the garden again, which I love. But You know, this last few videos I've been sharing with you guys photography. Huge passion of mine. I mean, as much of a passion as gardening is, for sure. Sharing more kitchen stuff. I've been working on this kitchen series and all this stuff. Huge passion. Cooking, I would say, is just as much of a passion in my life as gardening is. And so I actually love the off season because I feel like the people who are here with us now, I just love getting to share the other passions with you because you're here, I guess, during like kind of the unpopular time. I was thinking about this because I always use the time that my views are lower anyway to do the things that don't get good views. Like my friend Morgan Gold and I, some years ago, did a series for people who wanted to be YouTubers. I'll put a link to it if I'm sure I can find it, but like it did so poorly as far as like our normal views because obviously it's a very niche down thing, but we wanted to do that for people. We wanted to share that information for people. And I was thinking this morning about, it's just I was going about my normal morning chores and stuff, and I'm jotting down notes in my phone of videos I would like to make here in the next week or so, kind of covering some things that probably are very specific because several of you have been sharing your dreams. Kind of the tone of the last couple weeks of videos has been very much talking about learning new things and big dreams and stuff like that. And several of you have shared your dreams, and you guys have really awesome dreams. Like people are talking about wanting to write books and do photography and document, open stores and create community. I mean, there have been so many things that I've seen. Different people who are feeling really called into different ministries, and it's really awesome. And that's such a passion of mine, is encouraging people into those things. I would really like to be able to share the information I have as far as like where I could maybe speak to some of those dreams in a very practical sense. So I'd love your feedback. Again, like I'd love to know what your dream is. I'd love to know like the things you'd like to know from me, you know, like with what I have to share. I mean, now's the time to do the content that may really be just very specifically for a small group of people. Like, I'm okay with that. Oh, and I've been toting my camera around. A lot of you have joined us on our 365 challenge, which is really fun. Cousin Amy, my precious sweet cousin, my built-in bestie, started a thread on our Facebook group for those 365 photos. So, you know, on Friends of Roots and Refuge Facebook group, if you are doing the photo a day challenge, that's fun. Y'all see that? Duck prints in the mud. That might make a cool photo. It's already started to get pretty dusky out here, and I decided to just fully commit to getting a good picture of the ducks, so I'm hiding from them now so they'll come out of the water. I have to be quiet. So yeah, I'd love to know this. Okay, let me think. I'm trying to think of what to actually ask you guys that would actually be beneficial. What is stopping you from the thing that you're dreaming? Like the thing that you think sparks passion in you that makes you think you want to do. Maybe it's an entrepreneurial idea. Maybe it's really simple. Maybe you want to be the kind of person that bakes bread. Truly, let's use that as an example. Like, I remember for the longest time just having this imagination of like the woman that I wanted to be and the kind of homemaking that I wanted to do and the atmosphere that I wanted to create in my home. And I would say like, I want to be the kind of person that bakes bread. And of course, the thing that's keeping you from being the kind of person that bakes bread is just baking the bread. But it's very easy when you don't know how to do something or you feel ill-equipped to do it to think, I'm not that kind of person. It's just an action. It's just a task. It's just a chore on the list. It's just a thing. But it's easy to disqualify yourself as if you're literally just not the right kind of person to do it. And obviously that's not true. If that's the thing that you're thinking of, like when you really stop and you think like, where do I want to be and what do I want my life to be like? And what's the next step for me towards that? You know, your goal may be closeness with your children, or, you know, maybe like a renewed fire in your marriage, or maybe it is an entrepreneurial goal. Maybe you want to create a community around homesteading, or start a business, or go back to school, or whatever the thing is that you're wanting to do. Like, what would aid you in doing that? Like, what is the thing that you feel most restricted and held back by. Because maybe if you could share that would probably take a minute. Like maybe you could pause and think about it. I think being able to really like think things over is very beneficial, because sometimes we have to find ourselves out before we really even know the direction to go. I don't know, I was saying, I made a note earlier, how to write a book. And I think so many people want to write a book, and they're sitting down and they're opening their laptop and they're trying to write the first line, and they're trying to write a book in a way that's linear. You know, you don't really write books in a way that's linear. And I can tell you, because I've written books. You outline it. You write the chapter titles down, and then that way, when you're trying to write the intro and it's just not there, instead of closing the laptop and stopping, you go to the seed starting chapter and you write that. You go to something where you have some semblance of information that maybe you can't muster the creativity and maybe you can't wax poetic in that moment. So you write the thing that you know the most. You write the story that doesn't require a lot of creativity to tell. You write, you know, the part of it that comes easy to you, and you go right under that chapter for a little while. And then when you close the laptop, you've written 1,000 words instead of 0. And it's not a linear thing. It's something that you bounce from piece to piece on. And I was thinking about that this morning, and I thought, somebody wants to write a book and they don't know that. Because I didn't know that. I actually didn't know that. I was told that by, when I first started trying to write my book, I was actually told that by my acquisitions editor. She said, well, you write down your outline first, and then that way you can bounce from each one. And it just never occurred to me. She said it like it was the most obvious thing in the world, because she'd written books. And I was like, oh, well, that must be why you outline. I was never good at outlining at school. I always just wrote things. I'm too loud for the ducks. Oh well, I'm gonna go this way. Maybe I could get a photo of the sunset. But yeah, I just thought I should tell somebody that. And here's the thing, our comment section is like a treasure trove. And you know, maybe you think, well, my problem and the thing that's holding me back can't be found in a comment section. I need more money. I need more help. I need something else that you can't find in a comment section. But you can get entrepreneurial ideas to make money in a comment section. So I just had this idea that maybe we could come together on this, and maybe we could kind of take 5 minutes to respond to some other people and say, what about this idea? If you don't have an idea and you don't have an encouragement and you don't have an experience that could help somebody, maybe you could stop and pray for those people and be like, hey, you know, like, I'll get behind you on this and just pray for you that this is something that's real. I think there's something to this. All right, so the ducks aren't going to be my photo of the day, but I just turned around and saw this and thought, well, that's lovely. And I do recognize the fact that this isn't, if you just want to be here for the gardening content, well, the people who really just want that, they already clicked off this video. But if you're wondering, we'll go back to the garden. It's dead right now. It was an Arctic blast last week. We don't have a garden right now. But truly, this is good stuff. Guys, I have been so sick for a while. And I'm not sick anymore. I feel amazing. And I will share more. I've had a lot of people ask me like about the diet stuff. I will share more. I've worked very closely with a functional medicine practitioner and some different things. And I do feel amazing. And I will get to sharing that. The biggest thing for me is that when you're in survival mode, you can't hope. And while yes, I know that every video you've clicked on the last 2 weeks has been me like bubbling over with hope. But could I really say I love you if I don't share that? Hope is everything. And coming to a place of like not just surviving, but really feeling just an overwhelming gratitude and thanksgiving and worship and the creativity that sparks. That's really what's happening with me right now, is I'm feeling just an overwhelming amount of creativity. Because it's hard to create when you're focusing on surviving. And it's fascinating to me, you know, like we grow our own food. It's sustainability. And I feel like looking at it now, I have this great desire to evoke creativity and hope in people to apply to sustainability. Because we can't do this just for survival. We have to do it to thrive. And I've said that before, but I think I understand it even greater now. Well, I was walking back and walking back and walking back, almost fell in the pond. And I was like, man, if only I had a more wide lens. And then I realized, you have it, it's on my vlog camera. Hold on, I need to borrow this. Pretty good, huh? Thank you guys for hanging out with me today and for sharing your dreams. And I hope that you know that I'm praying for them. And I want to share with you the things that might be big obstacles to you, but that may have obvious solutions that I've discovered. And I'd love to learn the obvious solutions that you've discovered. Because I think if we could all share our obvious solutions, maybe those obstacles in our way could all just get a little smaller. I bless you guys. Until next time.